momentarily. Just bear with us. We're just organizing some of the proclamations we have. So a couple more seconds, folks. Welcome to the meeting of the East Providence City Council, May 20th, 2025. Madam Clerk, would you please read the roll of the council?
Yes, sir. Oh, am I too low? There we go. Councilman Fogarty,
Yeah.
Councilman Lawson,
Yeah.
Council Vice President Rigo,
Yeah.
Councilwoman Souza, and Council President Rodrick.
Here, with the record show, 4 members of the council are present as read. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. We'll deviate from the agenda just slightly. We have a number of proclamations to make this evening. And I want to thank Councilman Rick Lawson for the idea. And Councilman, if you want to just explain what the reason is for this celebratory moment.
Sure. The reason being is you guys did awesome. High school has such a rich history of putting on incredible musicals. And now we got this beautiful auditorium of which to perform in. And it's just year after year, it just keeps getting more and more incredible. This year it was Newsies, and from the set design to everything, it was just just an amazing show. The singing, the choreography was phenomenal. I don't know who did that, but you guys were awesome. And I just wanted to use my pulpit up here to recognize you and let you know that it was awesome. Your community enjoyed it greatly. I've heard nothing but amazing words about how amazing it was. And so we on the council just wanted to take a moment and recognize the hard work that you put in. Not just the performers, but the people that, the set designers, the artists that did the artwork, musicians in the pit. It was just such a collaborative effort. And to see the principal of the high school take part in the musical, it just shows how amazing East Providence is. So,
And
so
Councilman,
it was,
Councilman, if you haven't heard, I understand that Hollywood has sent in an offer for Principal Black. The East Providence School Committee, though, negated that and said, you're under contract to stay in the high school. So his acting days will have to stay within the high school. But let's, and also want to acknowledge the instructor, very popular instructor who's been doing a great job for years, Marianne LaSorsa, and thank you. So without further ado,
so what we're going to do is there was 77 total. We did one for the people who built the sets, to the artists, to the performers. So we just took a roll of who is here tonight, and we'll read off your name, we'll hand you the proclamation. I will say there is a minor typo that we have to address. Our clerk was on her way out to a conference this week. So we're going to get you an updated one, but we can still do ceremonially tonight. So, Deputy,
Madam Clerk,
mind
will,
reading the names and I'll hand them out.
and I just want to add, please, because there are so many, please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. And as you're introduced and you come up councilman will hand your citation to you and come along the front here and face the audience, and we'll until everyone is called. So if you could please hold your applause until the end, and we'll start the reading now. Thank you.
Okay, I apologize in advance if I don't say your name correctly. We have Mary Ann LaSorsa. Nathan Mello.
See, when I do things, they're so disorganized. I am so bad. Thank you.
At this rate, you could have applauded in between.
Yeah. Christian Gonzalez Juarez. James Casimus. Luke Pesh. Leanna Salcido. Melanie Collin. Sam De Silva. Mr. Black. Aspen Washington. Jaden Cruz. Nazare Phillip. Natasha Fontaine. Talia Gould. Ava Nascimento. Alexis Chobanian. And Melanie Bishop.
If there's anyone we didn't call, come on forward. How about a round of applause for Newsies? Mary Ann, would you like to say a couple of words at the podium there?
It's been my honor to work with these students, with Mr. Black, and for the city of East Providence for the last 38 years. So thank you.
Hold up for a picture, guys. You know, the politicians here, we need a picture.
Now, I'm sure your civics teacher would prefer you stay, but you guys are more than welcome to leave.
Thank you all for your patience. as we reorganize the agenda, just thank you for your patience. Madam Clerk, if you could read the executive session blurb.
Yes, sir. Executive session. The City Council of East Providence may meet in executive session pursuant to RIGL 42465 A2 litigation.
Is there a motion?
I move into executive session under Rhode Island state law.
Is there a second? Second by Councilman Fogarty, motion by Council Vice President Rego. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. We will recess for a quick executive session for litigation and some contracts, and we'll be right back. Thank you. Is there a motion on to seal the minutes of the executive session?
Motion to seal the executive session meeting notes.
Seconded by Councilman Lawson. All in favor? Aye, including Councilman Fogarty, who's right here. Any against? The ayes have it, 4-0. Thank you.
Yeah, they're not.
At this time, with your indulgence, if we could go to page 11, under resolutions number 4, with the parties involved that I've been working with at the Martin Middle School construction project and others. We've been spending a lot of time, a lot of hours, and I'd like to give the professional courtesy for these folks to not sit throughout the evening. So without objection, Madam Clerk, if you could read number 4 on page 11.
Yes, sir. Resolution authorizing the award of a contract for site work for the East Providence Community Center.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Council Vice President. Other discussion by the council? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
You want to just bang out the ordinances while we're here?
Thank you. Sure, while we're here. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. Get this projects, we'll get a shovel in the ground, right? Good. Thanks.
The rec center. Me and you, Dominic, one-on-one.
So with council consent, if we stay on page 11, and Madam
Yep.
Clerk, if you could go through these readings, number 1 first.
Yes, sir. Resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with the Gov Connection, Inc. for the renewal of the city's Microsoft 365 licenses. The amount of $1,008,044.83 will be paid from funds allocated in the IT software account, introduced by Councilman Fogarty. Oh, sorry, 108,000.
So that amount is $108,044.83, introduced by Councilman Fogarty. Is that a motion?
Second.
Second by Councilman Lawson and Vice President Rigo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have that, 4-0. Thank you. Next.
2, resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Colonial Motor Group for the purchase of 3 vehicles for the fire department, using the remaining capital funds of $264,485.02 from the purchase of a new tower ladder truck to complete the purchase, introduced by Council President Rodrick.
And also introducing this with me is Council Vice President Rigo, as we continue to use these funds to make sure our fire, police safety is at a high level. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Just during the week, right?
Motion by Council Vice President Rigo, seconded by Councilman Fogarty. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Next. And then let me just add, that we have discussed these at other meetings, and this is not any kind of a lightning round effort. These are monies that have been appropriated, most of the capital funds and other grant funding, so we're just finally making it official tonight. Next resolution.
Resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a change order with ADS Construction, Inc. for additional work related to the police station renovations cost of the change order is $130,379.70 using federal asset forfeiture funds to complete the work. Council Vice President Rigo.
Yes, and again, as it's stated here, there is no additional expense to the taxpayers, the city of East Providence. All this money is coming out of the federal asset forfeiture fund that we have. And this is predominantly to buy new furniture and equipment to the remodeled police station that the people of this city will be proud of, that it's long overdue and should have been taken care of in the past by previous administrations. And thank Mayor De Silva for getting the police station to almost the 21st, getting it into 21st century, not almost. I move motion on resolution number 3.
Second.
Motion made by Council Vice President Rego, seconded by Councilman Fogarty. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Next resolution, or did we go through them?
One more.
Number 5, one more, okay.
Resolution authorizing the mayor to execute the solid waste and recycling services agreement between the Rhode Island Resource Recovery Corporation and the City of East Providence. Council President Rodrick.
So we had some conversation about this at the last meeting, and again, there is no other choice for East Providence Refuse to go anywhere but the Johnston landfill. It's a contract that is a kind of a non-negotiable contract. The rate is the rate as set by the, is it Rhode Island Resource?
Legislature sets the tipping fee rate, and then they provide us a contract. So every city in town has got the same contract, but because it's every city in town has to dispose of its waste at the Rhode Island Resource Recovery, every city in town is asked to enter into a specific 1 or 2 year contract. This is our last contract expired, will expire in July. So this is with the new rates. This is reflected in that. I know there was some discussion about recycling, whether the city could actually cancel its recycling program at the last meeting. And again, I'm sorry I wasn't here for that meeting, but recycling is also mandated by state law. So the city does not have the opportunity to opt out of recycling. We must participate in that program as well. So this is they call this a contract of adhesion. It's you have to basically do it, but they're protecting because they're a quasi-state agency. That's why we entered into a contract with them. They're not the state itself.
And secondarily, I know there was concern about the fines that maybe are being talked about, that this administration is adhering to. So we're going to work on that, as an education program, and it's a little bit separate. So I really recommend that we have to do this. And so far, so good. I think one of the better things the city has done in recent years is changed to the bins that we now use. No longer have bags on the sidewalks breaking apart and problems with animals getting into the trash. So that part of it's working well. I know Councilman Lawson, you did have some questions. Do you want to add to this?
No, not at this point. It's more to do with the effectiveness of the recycling. If we
Right.
again hit $100,000 a year from these folks saying, "Oh, we're rejecting," maybe a solution, something to think about. But that's a longer conversation. It's just, I know I've had people say they're not even bothering recycling anymore to avoid the fines. So everything's
To be-
just going in the black bin.
Conversation to be continued. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Council Vice President Rego to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Fogarty. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, 4-0. Thank you. Madam Clerk, if we could go to page 3, and if you could read letter C.
Yes, sir. Tax abatement, cancellation, abatements, and non-utilization. This is for the year of 2024, $21,590.
And that was for a non-utilization tax. Just so
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve, Councilman Lawson, seconded by Councilman Fogarty. All in favor?
President,
Aye.
just so we're clear,
Yes.
we're approving the entire consent calendar of items VA, VB, and VC, right?
No, we just said C.
We're
Oh, you're just doing.
we're just doing C right now. Just so-
Oh,
We could do the whole if it's the abatement
Part
part.
of consent.
We
That,
should do the whole.
Okay.
Right.
It's only add.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent calendar.
That's right. Yep.
Okay, so the previous motion is withdrawn. So a motion by Councilman Lawson is to approve the entire consent calendar, seconded by Councilman Fogarty. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have that, 4-0. And I thank those that are here for that. Also, Mayor Rose, thank you. You're all set. Approved. Next item, please, if we could revert back to the agenda. Now that I've confused you, Madam Clerk, and if you can figure out where we are, we'll
Make a motion to bundle the license 1 through 19.
motion by Councilman Lawson to bundle licenses 1 through 19. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Fogarty to bundle. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Motion
The
to
ayes have
approve.
it. Motion now to approve said licenses by Councilman Lawson, seconded by Councilman Fogarty and Council Vice President Rego. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have that, 4-0. Thank you. Next item.
You gotta step down, Frank.
I got it. Well, she's got to make the announcement first.
No, that was part of it. Oh, sorry, you're right.
So 20 through 23,
Yeah.
alcohol related.
So Madam Clerk, why don't you just read the heading and then we might have a recusal.
Non-public hearing continued. These are for alcohol licenses for special events, which would be liquor license Class F and liquor license Class F1.
Madam Clerk, Mr. President, and in keeping with Rhode Island state law with my interest in a liquor wholesale company, I recuse myself from these matters at this time. Thank you.
Councilman, have you considered going into the ice cream business? Then you wouldn't have to recuse yourself.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to bundle 20
Will
through
if these
23.
tariffs keep up?
Motion's made by Councilman Lawson to bundle. What numbers were that?
20 through 23.
20 through 23, seconded by Councilman Fogarty. This is for to bundle. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Motion to approve.
The ayes have it, 3-0. Motion by Councilman Lawson to now approve those items, seconded by Councilman Fogarty. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have that, 3-0. Thank you.
Get the next round. You have the next round, Frank.
It's 1 day. Yeah,
Right.
1 days, yeah.
Yeah, you,
2 days, I'm fine.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
Madam Clerk, continue.
D, public hearing, types of business, application for liquor license transfer, Class BV. The applicant is Shahzad Ahmad. The business name is Lee's Chinese Restaurant and Lounge, and the address is 376 Bullocks Point Avenue in Riverside.
Again, I need to, under Rhode Island state law, with my interest in a liquor wholesale company, I need to recuse myself at this time for this matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
All matters under this. All matters on this one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. The applicant is present. If you'd like to come forward, please, with your representative, and just state your name and address for the record.
Sorry, of the Lee's Chinese Restaurant and Lounge. This is Mr. Ahmad to my left. This is pretty much a formality. He's a proprietor of the establishment. I don't expect any problems. We're here to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions? I think we're all familiar with the business. Welcome to the business. Might have helped your application if you brought in some chicken wings tonight and passed them out, but we won't hold that against you. But seriously, good luck and welcome with the establishment. All in motion.
Public hearing.
I'm sorry. So it is a public hearing. If there are no other comments from the council, anyone from the public who'd like to speak on this transfer? Have to ask one more time if there's anyone here who'd like to speak on this license transfer. Hearing none, I will close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second that.
Motion by Councilman Lawson to approve, seconded by Councilman Fogarty. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any
you very
opposed?
much.
The ayes have it. Good luck. Thank you.
Take care.
Best wishes.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
Oh, he'll be in for him.
It would have been cheaper than a lawyer.
A good point there, yeah. Next item.
Next item, application for a liquor license transfer, Class BV. Applicant is Marta Ochoa. The business name is Taco Niando, and its address is 181 Willett Avenue in Riverside.
Is the applicant present? Don't have to be. Any questions from the council?
I'm good to vote to approve once the public hearing's over.
Oh, open it up for public comment. Anyone present that would like to speak on this application? Hearing none, I'll ask one more time. Anyone present that would like to speak for or against this? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilman Lawson, seconded by Councilman Fogarty. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have that. Thank you. Next item?
Next is a license for a nonprofit for liquor. I would assuming Albuquerque, East Providence Heritage
Make a motion
Arts
to approve.
Inc., 610 Waterman Ave.
Motion made by Councilman Fogarty to approve, seconded by
I
Councilman.
believe this is what they call it, the cafe for the was Friday
Yes.
night. So yeah,
And-
I second absolutely.
Yep.
Just wanted to give a little background for people
Yes.
that they've been operating like it.
And along those lines, I have discussed this with the mayor as well as I've talked to, I believe, all of the council. We're going to not do as many of these as we've been doing. For instance, if a city department, if the library wants to put on a puppet show, the way the procedures have been, they have to come in, ask for permission. If it falls on a date not convenient to a council meeting, they can't have the puppet show. You know, it's ridiculous. So unless there is an event with alcohol being brought into city property and we then want to have a proper public hearing, then we'll do that. But we're going to start seeing less of these things. Like Carousel's going to have a concert. Have the concert. You don't have to come here and have a legal public hearing. Let's just have the show. If there are problems with that show, we'll deal with it down the line. But so that's, without objection from the rest of you, that's how I've tried to plan it out with the administration. So
Totally
with
agree.
I like it.
with that, anybody here as a public hearing wants to speak on this one? Hearing none, is the
Motion to
motion
approve.
is to approve by Councilman Lawson, seconded by Councilman Fogarty. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next matter for a hearing, public hearing.
Next is Edgar Borellis from Francesca's Restaurant 2 at 525 North Broadway in East Providence, Rhode Island.
They got a great breakfast. Oh my God.
Any questions? of that?
When the hearing's over, I'll
Right.
make a motion to approve.
Questions from the council? Open up to public hearing. Now, Madam Clerk and Mr. Solicitor, this isn't a city department, so what are they?
I believe this is a liquor license. I think the clerk failed to, but these were all for.
So this is liquor license, okay.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay, so are there any comments from the
Let me just,
public?
let's check. 'Cause-
Sure. Again, this is for the Francesca's Restaurant 2 on 525 North Broadway.
It is a liquor.
So it is a liquor license, okay.
Oh, sorry, I'm wrong. Sorry. It's a dance and entertainment for Francesca's. It's a dance and entertainment license.
Dance and entertainment, okay.
I can come on this one.
So,
Yeah.
Council Vice President, you can come back. In the meantime, any comments from the public on this? Any comments on the public regarding the dance and entertainment license for Francesca's Restaurant on North Broadway? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Councilman Lawson, seconded by Councilman Fogarty. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have
Council
that.
President, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Can we go back to, you can stay, the number 3 was also a dance and entertainment, not liquor. Yeah, no, sorry. Number 3 was also dance, we indicated it was liquor. I assumed it was liquor because it was under the public hearing, but number 3 is also dance and entertainment, so we should conduct the public hearing. On that.
Okay, so we'll close out this one in the Francesca's Restaurant. I think it was 3-0 to approve with the recusal from the Vice President. If we revisit item number 3 for the Heritage Arts, that was a dance and entertainment,
liquor.
but it's not liquor. So there again, in the future, they're not going to have to come in if they want to have dance at the senior center. And so do we have to re-vote that? Or?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll vacate the prior
Correct.
vote. Is there
It's illegal, the other votes, yes.
is there a motion to approve the dance and entertainment license?
So moved.
So moved by Councilman Lawson, seconded by Councilman Fogarty. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, 4-0.
Thank you for that clarification.
Sure, thank you for the clarification also. That concludes those public hearings. Revert back to the regular order of business. Madam Clerk.
Next item is communications, and there are none. The next after that will be public comment.
Oh, here's the list. Is Julia Dempsey present? Yes, welcome. Go ahead.
Julia Dempsey, 47 Payette Street. Oh, let me get what I'm doing. Has nothing to do with the meeting. Of course, it has to do with the same old stuff, kind of, but I feel it's better that I present it here because when I try to do it privately, it turns out to be a battle. That's why I asked for your help originally in the beginning, and I didn't think the second meeting was going to go the way it did, but I have been asking for a rental payment history since April 28th under the Public Records Act. I've been unable to get that. There's $3,000 check that's unaccountable in the rental history that I did receive. This is to assist me in helping me get out of your house so I can show somebody that I have a good rental payment history. And Michael, I sent you all an email just now while I was sitting here attaching the copies of the misappropriation of funds of my rent over the past 5 years and the credits that are on my rental history that have not been applied to my rent. I want to get that resolved somehow. I think I'm addressing Michael about this, not you guys. But I did send you all a copy of it so you could see what I'm talking about. The $3,000 check and the payment history with the misappropriated funds that are still out there unaccounted for would either be my money back or applied to my next rent coming up. And I received a letter from Michael as well stating that he would give me back my security deposit to aid in my moving out, help me get out of the house quicker. As the mayor says, nobody wants to move January 31st, 2026 in the dead of winter. So I'm trying. And I went to look at an apartment the other day and I lost it because I didn't have that deposit. So I did call and ask Marie if she could pass it along to Michael, if we could get that rolling and get my payment history for me so that I can show a prospective landlord, that I've paid my rent late 3 times in 5 years, and get the rest of the funds appropriated the way they belong and accountability for the $3,000 that's not there.
Okay, no, thank you. I'll read the email when I get home later. I'm
I mean, I just
not going to
was
read
trying
it
to show
now,
you,
right?
Just to show
And
you what I was talking about.
I understand there's some progress. You have signed the lease.
I have. I did it all
good.
on my
So,
own without.
Julia, you pay monthly rent.
I do.
What are you talking about misappropriation?
Okay, there was a $3,000 check from Rent Relief RI during the pandemic. That does not show up on my payment history that I was given. The payment history I was given was, the act of a 3rd grader. I mean,
Okay.
it's a spreadsheet that says it was imported, bookkeeper for 30 years. You can give me a ledger from an accounting system that shows my payment history. But the dates have been changed to like 2033, so it's not an imported payment history. I'd like just to stop the shenanigans and let's get it down and get what I'm asking for and get me moving because I don't like my house anymore. It's a hostile living environment and I don't want to be here anymore.
All right.
Be an
I'm not going to repeat everything, but thank you.
I'm not repeating.
Yep, good luck.
Yep.
That's no one else on the list. Next item, please. Thank you.
The item is appointments. There are none. Next is council members. 1, road repair, Ferris and Bishop. Council Vice President Rego.
Yes, sir. Council Vice President.
Thank you, Mr. President. It has come to my attention, and I drive by there on a regular basis. This isn't a major job, but it's becoming a real issue that I know the road isn't scheduled for repair, but there needs to be some work done by DPW on that. It's getting wider and bigger, and after every rainstorm, it's just getting worse. This past Thursday's rainstorm really made it even bigger. It is right on the corner of, again, where it says it here, Bishop and Ferris over near St. Margaret's. It's the little loop in the middle of the island. We're talking just some TLC on that. And hopefully, I know Director Borges has been away. Hopefully, him and his department can address this in the next couple of weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
Next, traffic problems, Center Street, south from Pawtucket Avenue. Council Vice President Rigo.
Thank you again. This was brought to my attention. I was at the Newman Congregation Church. They brought back their May breakfast, and that was terrific. Sitting there with some of the residents of Center Street, and where the issue is coming southbound from Pawtucket Avenue. So if you can vision this, you're coming down the hill from Pawtucket past Drown Parkway, and there's the automatic right turn onto Center Street. There's 4 or 5 houses right there, and it really takes into effect probably like 6 houses. People are just flying down there. It has obviously gotten worse in the last year and a half due to the bridge closure and people looking to find alternative routes. And it's become a nuisance. And the people, the 6 or 7 houses along Center Street, asked me to bring this to the attention of the city. We need to come up with a solution. I mean, and I looked at it, and they brought it up, and I think it's possible. If we created that situation that I don't want to bring up again, but I have to bring up about the Pleasant Street closure with the barriers, you could very well do that to this location and force the people to take the next right at the island, right where the Christmas trees are, and there's still, a right turn to go on the Center Street. Now people are just blowing by there. They can't get out in the morning. And it's a situation, there's some young kids again. So I didn't have time to get pictures. I will definitely bring pictures, but we need to address this issue. I went down there and looked, and in the morning, and people are just flying down from Pawtucket Avenue, and just they're not paying attention to the stop sign or anything. And it's definitely a public safety issue. If we were to close that off and force them to get to the light that's opposite the basketball courts at Agawam Park, it would definitely slow people down. And again, I have, since I've been on this council, I've been a supporter of taking care of traffic issues throughout the city. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Well said.
Next, requests for update from administration on Crescent Park project.
I'd like 3, 4, and 5. I'd like to table due to vacations, and I do just want to make a comment on the Crescent Park project.
Please.
So I'm going to put my frustration aside. This project we've been talking about this for years. So there's 3 parts to the project. There is the train part, there is the event tent, and there's the updated concession / storage new bathrooms. We're not in the position to do that. So I'm going to request that we just strip out the train and the concession part and do the event tent this summer. We have a concession building, so we still got our clam cakes and chow. We're not missing out there. We're not going to be able to buy the train this year, so we'll decide if we can move that capital. But the event tent, to me, this is something we need to lay a pad and then get the tent up. If we can get this done by September, the Carousel Commission will not have to spend $8,000 or more to put on the food and wine pairing. Commerce RI gave us a grant last year, did the big photo op. This year, they told us to kick rocks. We didn't get the grant. So if we can get the tent up to make money, you don't want to spend money, this will allow us to save money that can be used to restore the carousel, which is the purpose of the Carousel Commission. So I'm going to ask the administration if we could just focus on just the tent. And if it's possible, again, I understand there's a lot of moving pieces, but we're not in a position to put up the new building or the train. So let's do what we can and at least take incremental steps towards this. Having the event tent will allow us to, people want a place to have parties. I know people said, oh, she said it's going to be a wedding venue. If they want to have one, fine. We're not going to be marketing it like the West Valley Inn or anything like that. But if we can have birthday parties outside of the carousel into the tent and stuff, so that's going to be my request, that we pull out the event tent from the rest of it and at least get that going. I'm willing to come in, grab coffee, discuss ideas, but we're kind of like the hamster on the wheel here. So that's my suggestion, and I will follow up.
Yep, a good point. Chief of Staff, if you can follow up, maybe we can set up a coffee session and go over all of this soon as possible. I know there's some timing issues with funding, so that, we can get it all on the table and let's get going on it. Thank you, Councilman. Next.
Next, City Council Veterans Advisory Committee update. Councilman Lawson.
All right, Monday, we have the Memorial Day Parade down the Riverside. Any veteran who would like to join us to march is welcome to join us. We're going to step off at 10 a.m. from the former Oldham School on Bullocks Point Ave. Any veteran with mobility issues, we will have a flatbed or a float, so you won't have to walk. Everybody's welcome to come join us. It's a great time. Kids love it. For those, I love the Vietnam vets being able to overcome what they had when they first came home. So it's just a wonderful event. If anybody has questions, they can reach me at ward4council@eastprovidenceri.gov. And again, 10 a.m., we're stepping off. Everybody's welcome. And the other update is May 31st. The Elks are having their annual Veterans Expo at Pierce Memorial. Any veteran or family members want to come by, there'll be all kinds of information booths set up just to help guide you through the various veteran benefits available. So that's it for me.
Any weather forecasts for Monday? Supposed to be nice.
No matter to me, buddy.
Yeah, we'll be there. Thank you, Councilman, for taking the lead on that.
You got rid of the convertible, didn't you?
Yeah, it's gone.
Could have used it.
Next,
Convertible wasn't any good because they were getting some eggs thrown at me inside, so I just walked this year.
There you go.
Next item, please. Just kidding, I always walked.
next, reserved parking on Bullocks Point Avenue.
So this is mainly for you, Mike. There's a doggy daycare on Bullocks Point Ave. He reached out to me. He wanted to know if he could have a reserved spot in front for drop-offs, because people show up, they drop their dog off, they go on within 5 minutes. Just to make it nice and easy. That way you don't have dogs crossing streets and stuff. So reach out to the administration who sent me to DOT. I talked to DOT. They said if a state road is authorized for parking, which Bullocks Point Ave is, they said it's up to the municipality to determine if they want to designate spots. Yeah. So my question is that a process?
Probably be an ordinance.
Okay.
Who did you talk with at the state? Do you know the name of the person? If you can forward it to me tomorrow, that's fine. I just want to.
Yeah, it was the constituent affairs. Let me get it. She was really great. But I will definitely forward you that info. And
also the address of the
Yeah,
business.
I just need the address.
yeah, I can get you all that.
They just want one spot in front of the.
Yeah, and even just like he'll put those temporary signs, reserve parking, and then just pull it at the end of the business day.
Okay.
He's next door to a business that doesn't open till like 4, I think, Union Bistro. So it's not really going to be a bad thing. All right, I'm sorry, I was looking for the email. So that's it. I'll follow up with you. I'll forward you that email, and if we could help him out,
I'll get back to you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Next item.
Next, request to authorize payment of $780 to Rumford Little League for supplies pertaining to the conversion of the Ulrich Field from 50 to 70 playing surface. Council Vice President Rego.
Yes, Council Vice President.
Thank you, Mr. President. In the long tradition of Rumford Little League, people come up to Kimberly Ann Rock and say what a wonderful complex it is. Not knowing that the concession stand, the bathroom facilities, the dugouts, the in-ground sprinkler systems, resodding the field have all been done by the city. I mean, have all been done by Rumford Little League and approved by the city. The recent lights, the poles were donated by Mr. Mark Mercurio, a resident of Ward 1, and the lights themselves were a process by Mr. John Preventure of Ward 1 with his company. And they were stalled at that point. And thanks to Mr. Bob DeSilva, he took it upon himself to help the league because at the time, the past administration of the league was floundering. So the city did take care of the installation of the lights, the electrician, and everything. But coming full circle, the new administration of Rumford Little League, led by Mike Fisher, John Baptista, and Rick Audette with the field, Little League and AAU have adopted the intermediate field, and there was not one in the city. They took it upon themselves. They took a week out of work. They reconfigured it. And so all we're doing here now is asking for the $780 for the loom to redo it. The good thing about it is, again, by doing this, Rumford Little League in the city of East Providence has been chosen to host a state tournament. Rumford did it with the Major Boys in 23, and they are now going to host the 50-70 field state tournament come this July again, which is a feather in the hat to the league. And it brings people to the city, which we all wanted to do. And so in good faith, I ask that we allocate that, reimburse them, I should say, for the $780 for the equipment that they needed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I think we can handle that through, we'll do that internally. There's a recreation account that we can, that's plenty of
Need
money.
the invoices, but yeah,
Right.
You got them. Thank you.
Get the invoices. So we'll take care of that internally. Just make sure we get the invoices and,
There might be
Sounds
an
good.
account already set up that we could do that, but we'll
yeah. Thank you. And thank the league for the work they've done. Next item.
Next item, public hearings, ordinance for second and final passage. An ordinance of the Council of the City of East Providence reallocating $264,485.02 for the purchase of 3 vehicles for the fire department, introduced by Council President Rodrick.
Also co-introduced by Council Vice President Rego. Again, something we've talked about at length. The funding is there. Is there a
What does it mean?
Discussion before we-
Reallocating.
This was capital for the fire truck that you appropriated money for, and there was leftover monies from that. And under our policy, that if there's leftover monies, it basically falls into the unallocated capital. So if you want to expend it again, we advertise for to use the capital. So that's what this was done. So this was money left. You appropriated money for, I believe, a ladder truck.
Yes.
Came under budget by that of like $300,000. And so this is, that $300,000 goes back to unallocated capital.
So we voted to spend money on a ladder truck, and it turned out,
No, that was bought.
We bought it.
I understand, but it was $300,000 less than what we were asked to authorize.
I mean, we came in under, so, I mean, I can't.
Shouldn't it have come in before the resolution came to us to purchase it?
Well, it was up to, you allocate up to a certain amount, and then
That's a pretty big gap between what they asked for and what it actually costs.
we can ask the fire chief why it came in under budget.
I would, because then you can just start sliding capital money around like that.
Well, no,
Anyway, I'm going to vote to approve this,
no,
but
I just want to make it clear, you can't slip it around. If you allocate $100,000 for a project, and it comes in at $80,000 and we pay for it, you have $20,000 that's left over. That $20,000 then gets put in unallocated capital. We can't touch it. The council then, like if the fire chief in this case said, we have $300,000 that we didn't spend from the fire truck. He asked.
I get that, but I'm trying to understand how it was $300,000.
We'll get, and I'll get you that answer. I don't know that off the top.
Your question is why was the bid off?
Right.
But
By
you know,
300,000.
yeah, that might be a question for the bidders.
Well, it's also a question for the fire chief because due to the fact that it's his department, he's supposed to be the leader. He should know what the cost of equipment is. Sitting here running a business, Mike knows what law firms, averagely charge. I know how much equipment costs. I have a concern that Councilman Lawson's bringing up. It's great that it came under bid, but I have a concern about, does this fire chief know how much equipment costs?
Well, if
And
you
it's
look-
going to it's bringing me back. And every time it does, it brings me back to that fourth rescue. And I am starting to get some questions about the leadership of the fire department. Thank you.
I wasn't going there, but I'll make a motion to approve.
And I just want to point out in the resolution, it says with savings achieved through negotiations with the 3 vendors, that's where the savings came from. So there might have been negotiations after the contract was awarded to value engineer, maybe, take, painted green instead of red. I'm just telling you, that's what the resolution says. We'll get you more information.
Yeah,
but-
please do. That's a 300,000. I could see 20, 30,000. 300,000 is too big of a gap to not question.
So this is a public hearing. At this point, we can come back to council questions. Is there anyone here at the meeting that would like to make a comment for or against this? Anyone here that would like to speak for or against this reallocation of capital for the fire department? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. If we're finished here, is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Lawson, seconded by Council Vice President Rego. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have that, 4-0. Thank you. Next.
There's no continued business. We'll move to new business. Mayor Communications, Chief of Staff Patricia Rosendi.
Yes, Chief.
Good evening, Council President and members of the council. Actually, my first item on Mayor Communications will be for our tax assessor and finance director to speak about the residential and commercial tax rate.
Thank you. Please come forward and sure. Thank you.
Thank you for being so patient.
And just for anyone viewing the meeting who may not have met you folks, if you could just identify yourself and your position with the city.
I'm Sarah Frew, tax assessor.
Glenda Delgado, Finance Director.
Thank you both. Proceed.
So we're here to talk about the tax rates. The amount that was budgeted was approved back in October 2024. The residential rates, as calculated, came out to $12.95, which would be a 15.53% reduction from last year. Commercial came in at $20.48.
I'm sorry, could you just go back and repeat that so I can write it accurately?
Oh, sure. It's a,
Yeah, I know it's in your,
yeah.
yeah, never mind, it's right here. I'm just taking notes as you're reading.
worries.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Go ahead.
The commercial rates came in at $20.48, which is also a 14.38% reduction from the previous year. Tangible rates, we are not allowed to change per state law, so we're kind of locked into our 2024 rate. Yeah, so we just wanted to present those today. I know Sarah has a little bit more analysis as far as average rates for residential and commercial and provided some more details, so I'll leave it up to her now.
Okay. So as you know, because we just had the reevaluation and values were up, that's why we were able to bring the rates down. Doesn't necessarily mean taxes are going down, but then we brought the rate down to try to get it as close to where we were at before. So if you take a look at the summary sheet that we provided, the average single-family taxpayer in the city, the new assessment for the average single-family taxpayer is coming in around $420,000. Last reevaluation cycle, which was done 2 years ago, the average price was $345,000. So what this means to the average single-family taxpayer with the homestead, because the majority of the properties are owner-occupied in the city, it's probably about almost 90% receiving the homestead. So if you look at it with the homestead factored in, the average single-family taxpayers would see an increase of about $123 or 2.70%. And then commercial is pretty similar when you look at it as an average. Commercial properties are a little more all over the place depending on the categories of the properties, but average commercial taxpayer, this reevaluation cycle on average is coming in at around 900,000. Last reval cycle was around 760,000. So for the average commercial taxpayer, that's a $525 increase, just about 2.88% tax increase. So it's not too bad.
Thank you. Comments from the council?
I think you did a great job here, both departments. I received one phone call in regards to the revals. I think they are definitely fair. And I think, again, not answering for Sarah or for the finance director, people saying, well, my rate goes down, but obviously the assessment has gone up. And also the levy, if you look at the most important thing is the levy went up almost, it did go up over $3 million. The cost of running the city continues to go up. People don't realize that contracts, health insurance, cost of goods, and this year it's going to be, you gotta take into that word tariffs that I deal with every day in my business. It's going to impact it's going to impact the city because, you know, equipment for trucks, et cetera, is going to cost more money now. So I think we're fortunate to live in the city. I can, again, I'm going to toot the council's horn as well as the as well as the administration. You hear people say that this is a terrible place and I want to get out of here. I can't believe this and everything like that. Just look at the other cities and look at the rates. It's a pretty damn good place to live, and I want to thank you all.
Thank you,
That's a
Council
good
Vice
point. We did
President.
include that. So you could look at us in comparison to the other cities and towns. So we rank right now about 14th out of 39 cities and towns. We're right in the middle with our rate. So
Considering that we're arguably the fifth or sixth largest city in the state, considering that we have a brand new high school, which by all accounts is, I hate to keep using the term state of the art, but that's what it is. It is a tremendous high school facility. We will very shortly, in a year or so, have a brand new Martin Middle School servicing the center of the city and Rumford. And that, too, so many of us here have been visiting and going through the walkthroughs, and that is going to be as good as any in Rhode Island. And the Riverside Middle School, with its accomplishments, is on the same level. I've often said that's really the best building in the city, even though it's older. It had the windows and corridors and traditional construction, and along with the latest improvements, we have 3 secondary buildings and scattered neighborhood schools that none are perfect. Somebody tomorrow is going to call me and post that they saw a crack in a pavement somewhere, or they saw a building that needed some paint or a cracked window. Yeah, that's life, and you know we'll live with that. When I see the city of Warwick struggling with the $8 to $10 million deficit in their school department, never mind the rest of the city, and they may not even get the new schools that those citizens voted for in a bond issue. What I'm getting at is, and I'm just talking about schools right now, look at the improvements to the police station. Maybe took some time, but from all reports, it's looking pretty good. We keep buying fire equipment, as we noticed tonight. The forfeiture act has provided us with many law enforcement vehicles. The streets we'll talk about another time. We are trying to do what we can to get the state to move. We've been fixing a lot of local streets when we can. Recreational facilities are really on the move. And the tax rate went down from $15.33 to $12.95. It's a decrease of 15%. We may pay a few more dollars on the overall picture, maybe $123 more is for the average person. This is not an onerous report. That's not bad. So is it perfect? People don't like death and they don't like taxes. Well, they're both with us all the time. And I really want to commend the tax division, the mayor's office, and we've done what we can do to help here. And this is not a bad report. Thank you for your work. Somebody tomorrow will call all of us and say, too many taxes, I'm moving out of here. Be my guest. We have a list of cities you can go to.
So I
where
will
the taxes
say,
are higher. And
I will say our job is to show the taxpayer the return on the investment. And taxes are not needed. We got to provide police and fire and road repair and sewer and schools and parks, playground. There's a lot we got to cover. We just need to keep ensuring, and we're doing a good job overall, the whole city, that the taxpayers are seeing what they're paying for. And as we're getting ready to go into next tax season, we got to keep in mind with the tariffs and stuff, cost of doing things is going to go up.
right.
Now is not the time to start adding. Now is the time to kind of keep an eye on the status quo. Grant funded positions, we can't take them on full-time positions. I think we need more DPW workers to show that return on investment. But we should start this budget season not thinking we're going to go to the max, and try to create a budget that's no more than 2%, say, increase.
And all is not rosy looking forward. And I
Correct.
think the point is we need to sit back now. We have done a lot. The entire city has done a lot, and the improvements are there. Our parks are beautiful. Yeah, do we get phone calls? We need to cut the grass this week. Yeah, when it rains and the sun comes out, the grass grows. The guys will get to it. So nothing is perfect. However, and I think we added up that we benefited by about $30 million in combination of grants and from the pandemic and from the governor, from Congress, all kinds of sources. I know it's all our pocket, but basically it did not come out of this budget and these tax dollars. And now that money has stopped. We know that. There's a new sheriff in Washington, and those grants and things are slowing down. So we have to now, when groups come to us and say, we would like this and we would like that built. Well, if we can do it, we can do it. But we've got 2 big schools to pay for, big bond issues. Next year is going to be a very tight year. So we all have to be cognizant of that. That's my soapbox speech. Any other questions on this report?
I just want to thank you for your hard work. Thank you.
You always stay at the
And
best.
for the people watching, don't look at these numbers. Look at your last year's tax bill and this year's tax bill and compare the difference. That's when you really see how much you're paying in taxes. A lot of people say, oh, tax increase. Well, it could be less than $10 a month increase. So you got to really look at the hard numbers Like you said, people don't like taxes. We're Americans, you know, but they're necessary. So look at the bills, compare them. That will tell you how much your taxes went up.
And on that note, when will the tax bills be going out so that we can be prepared for?
So we're beginning the proofing process. We now have a tax rate that we know is going to be our tax rate. So now we have like a little bit of cleanup work to do, and then we'll proof the bills. So probably by the end of next week,
Okay. Thank you.
beginning of June,
Please send the first bill to Rigo's house. Thank you.
overnight. Yeah.
Yeah, overnight his bill.
Not gonna get hand delivered. This it's not. Malcolm used to hand deliver it.
Thank you very much. And you want, continue, please, Chief.
We're going to move to double that rate. Council President, with your permission, I do have an answer for the Council Vice President in regards to the ladder check, if I'm allowed to go back to that.
Yes, please, go ahead.
I did have a letter written by the fire chief and a memo prior to the meeting that explained, and so what had happened was the city prepaid for the truck. I'm sorry, I'm just pulling it up. Prepaid, there was prepayment, and because of the prepayment from the 2.1 million, we were able to have savings. So this was the result of the savings from that amount.
Feel a little better.
Okay. I was, while you were talking, I'm like, I know I have this, so
Thank you.
and the chief confirmed all of the numbers for me.
Thank you.
Thank you for looking that up.
Just like to make sure all the numbers are right.
Of course, it's your job to do that. And then if I may, I'm just going to move on with our mayor communications. So I have with me, I couldn't forward, and I did mention to you that mention this to you in my latest email, but our Rumford Rifle Range Remedy in Place Response Report is many, many, many pages. The file is so large that we can't, there's no way to send you other than sending a link, which I have from them. But I do have a CD-ROM if any of you are interested in viewing the thousands of pages of the report. I'm happy to share that, and I have the binder as well. So we do have that, and we can make it available to the clerk's office if someone from the public would like to review it. We did forward the 2025 street pavement update and list, and I want to just invite sorry, I'm exhausted. Wanted to invite the public and the council. We have our annual Day of Portugal and Azores Day flag raising and celebration. We're actually going to combine it this year on the same day. It'll be June 2nd at 1:30. In addition, on June 7th, we have our 10 a.m. Pride flag raising celebration and parade. We also have a public meeting coming up on June 4th at 6 p.m. at Fuller Creative Learning Center, and you'll receive all of this in your email. And this is to discuss Oldham School. It'll be a public meeting. In addition, I do have 5, I stand corrected, proclamations. I'm happy to read them, or if you'd like to accept them as is, that'll be the council.
So just read the titles.
Sure, thank you. No problem. I don't have my glasses either, so that'll be a little difficult. But it's the 2025 National Military Appreciation Month Proclamation, the 2025 Immigrant Heritage Month Proclamation, the 2025 Day of Portugal Proclamation, the 2025 National Gun Violence Awareness Day Proclamation, and of course 2025 Juneteenth Day Proclamation. And that is all from our office. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, and I might add that the deputy clerk has been standing in tonight. The regular clerk is at a conference and actually has been representing Rhode Island and leading in that conference. So we appreciate her efforts, and we appreciate Deputy Clerk Stoddard for taking care of business in the interim. So if you want to continue, please.
Yes, sir. Report of other city officials, City Solicitor Michael Marcello, settlement agreement and discussion.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The City Council met in executive session to discuss a settlement agreement on a tax appeal by S Bank, which is Santander Bank. The agreement was approved. It will not be made public until it's formally signed, however. And then in the claims and litigation, we had several pothole claims 6 pothole claims, all of which were approved up to the maximum of $300 per state law.
And could you just verify that the first item was based on a court?
Oh, yes,
matter?
the first.
It wasn't just a settlement from.
No, it was a court case where they challenged their assessment and went to court, and there was a settlement reached after the
Okay,
court
Thank-
filings for 2 tax years.
thank you. Do we need to formally approve that now? We
No.
approved it already in executive.
And
Okay.
again, it will be made public once we.
Yes, thank
sign
you.
it.
Next item.
Report of school committee liaison.
Councilman.
Graduation, June 6th, 6:30. I didn't even look. At Pierce, correct? Yep, at
Yes.
Pierce. I did at PCD Fieldhouse when I graduated.
Yeah, it used to be when it rained.
Yeah.
I was there.
Good year. Newsies was great. Kids Rock Chorus, May 30th. Next Friday, a week from this Friday. I'll be emceeing again. It is the elementary school kids. Taylor Temple, music teacher, puts together, it's called the Kids Rock Chorus. And they just sing music from when you were a teenager to modern times. And they're so awesome. They love it. It's a concert, and they're up there full of energy, and it's a great event. So May 30th, meet me at the East Providence Auditorium, High School Auditorium. We'll have a great night of music.
Thank you for that. And I would only add before I go to you, Councilman Rigo, that's part of the quality of life in East Providence. That chorus, when you see 1,200 people in an auditorium and not an empty seat, families, parents, grandparents, neighbors, all there to see that concert. And because we are now positive, there was a time not too long ago, there was an actual recommendation to do away with that program and a couple of others in our school department. Thankfully, those elected people are now gone, and we're back to providing a quality. What did it cost? The cost of an elementary chorus teacher, which brings back how many dividends to this community? So
A budget.
bravo to those.
A budget's a set of priorities, and
Yep.
The school's my biggest.
Thank you for that report. Next item.
I also,
Oh, I'm sorry.
in
Yeah.
regards to schools, I want to recognize all the teachers of the years from the individual schools. It was a great ceremony that the superintendent, Sandy Ferran, put on last week, her and her staff, and which led to the district's teacher of the year, which is Amy Darasco. Moran, I'm used to just saying
Yeah.
Darasco. And congratulations to all the winners, as well as to Amy, who is the district winner.
Thank you. Well said. Next item.
There are no introduction to ordinances, and then adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Council Vice President Rigo, seconded by Councilman Lawson and Fogarty. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.